Welcome everybody to a free thinking show. And before we start, I have to go over my little intro that I normally do for free thinking. My free thinking show is my show where I talk about anything, whether it's current events, stuff like that, and it's my views and my opinions. And if you have views and opinions, you can put them in the comments, but you're not going to change my mind about my views and my opinions. That being said, please respect everybody else's views and opinions down below. And with that being said, let's get into it. Happy New Year, everyone. Wow, it's already the end of the year. And not only is the end of the year, we're ending a whole decade. It's crazy. These 10 years for me. Today we're going to talk about the end of the year and also the end of the decade. Yeah, we're going to talk about both. We're going to blend it in together. But like I was saying, these 10 years for me were really, it was a test. It was a genuine test for me. I'm not going to talk about my personal stuff on this one, but I will on how to grow. That is more like my mental health channel and stuff like that, and I don't want to mix the two, but we're going to talk about different current events that happened. I guess one of the biggest ones is we went from going into the decade with having a Black president to leaving out with a orange president. And also, it was a lot of legends that passed away this decade. A lot. I was actually watching something earlier with my daughter, and they were doing a top 10 list of the people who passed away in this decade, in 2010s. And I thought it was kind of crazy. How are we counting down what celebrity death mattered more and which one didn't so much? It was a lot. And it was a lot of ones that was like, damn, I can't believe this person's dead. And I really think that was my phrase for quite a bit, especially for Robin Williams and Prince. Not going to say that about Whitney, but it was just shocking how that came out, especially since she was starting to get her life back together. That was a little like, whoa, well, what the fuck happened? Almost. Not so much like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And I even had to look back, because at first I thought Michael Jackson died this decade, but he died 2009. So it was the last decade. I don't know why I thought he died this decade. Maybe because in 2010 they were still celebrating a lot of his stuff. So that might be why. And this decade, it went through some phases and a lot of changes. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, when did we become so super sensitive about a lot? Like, when did this start? Because I'm trying to figure out exactly what year did everybody, oh, you can't talk about this person like that, you can't talk about that person like that, oh, nope. Or even like, there's certain celebrities I look at a different light. Like today I was watching something about Kevin Hart, and I remember when he was like on Soul Plane and stuff like that, and his first, I want to say, his first 3 comedy specials are the ones I liked the most. I didn't like What Now. I refused to watch the newest one. And I haven't really watched too much from him since then. I think the last movie I watched with him was Jumanji. And the only reason why I watched it is because The Rock was in it. I haven't watched the new Jumanji. I don't know if I'm going to, because it kind of makes no sense to have this new one. Who knows? Someone might convince me to watch it one day. But, yeah, I'm not a big fan of him no more like I was. Like, I was genuinely, like, rooting for him. And then, like, especially with the video I saw today from his documentary special on Netflix, which, don't get me started on that. I haven't even watched it yet. And after watching that clip, I don't think I want to. Like, how pathetic can you be? And the definition of little man syndrome, where you're telling someone who's supposed to be your friend that you wouldn't be shit without me. Do you want friends or do you want people? Do you want followers? Because that's almost how it seems like with that video. And don't blame it on alcohol. Don't blame it on none of that other shit. Because guess what? When you're drunk, you're saying what you really think in your head. Alcohol doesn't put extra words in your mouth. Alcohol only takes down them filters that you use to not say the fucked up shit in the real world. I should know that. But, let's see what else happened within the decade. Well, it went from us mainly having Netflix and Hulu to right now, damn near every other network is coming out with their own streaming service. And Disney Plus really kind of killed it, even though, just realized the day I was watching Disney Plus, how do they get the newest Star Wars movie, but they don't have the one before that? How am I supposed to watch the newest one without watching that one? But I think they might have mislabeled it because the release date is the release date for the last one, not for this one that just came out recently. But it has the title for this one. So I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But I will watch it later. But yeah, the streaming service game is crazy now. It was Netflix and Hulu. And now it's Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, BET Plus, DC Universe. Isn't HBO coming out with a streaming service now too? And then it's damn near everybody. I've tried. Only reason I even got BET Plus because I was hoping I could watch the old episodes of Comic View. Nope. So I just canceled that service instantly. I was like, nope. I don't really watch BET like I used to. DC Universe, I've tried twice. The first time I tried it, I canceled it within a week because I was mad that they didn't have enough of Batman movies up when they first started. And I wrote the people because they actually wrote me and said, well, why are you canceling? Oh no, why are you canceling? You don't have enough of Batman videos up. Email me when you get some more. Because it was like 4 at first. And probably didn't help. I was hopped up on pain meds too at that time. Because I had issues with my teeth and they had to put me on some really heavy stuff. But yeah, I actually wrote them and told them, you need to email me when you get more Batman movies. And they did get more Batman movies. I gave them an honest try this time. I just don't know if I will keep it beyond that because, yes, there's a lot of DC shows I like besides Batman. But am I needing the service to the point that I need to watch these shows all the time? Not really. And if I really want to watch the Batman ones, I can always just buy them from Google. I have Netflix. And Netflix apparently is now the place to be for stand-up comedians. Well, not Monique, but I was watching something today actually about that whole situation, and like now she's getting her special, which I'm so happy for her. She's getting her special on Showtime. I am proud of her. I do kind of think she overreacted towards the whole deal with Netflix. And before anyone comes for me saying she has all these things, I know she won an Oscar, she did all these great things, but you have to think about it. She was out of the game for so long, and For anyone who says, well, Dave Chappelle was out of the game for a long time. Very true. But I didn't hear a whole lot of people saying, you know who I want to hear do stand-up again? Monique. I didn't. But that's also because her name got hushed quite a bit. So maybe that's why. That is just me, though, on that one. But yeah. Some of the stand-up specials I watched this year. I watched all the Dave Chappelle ones. All of them. I think that was pretty much the times I was really only getting Netflix. Oh, Dave Chappelle's about to come on a new special? Let me get this Netflix back. It was quite a bit of good shows, too, that started and ended, and cliffhangers were going into, besides my superhero shows, and The Magicians. Right now I've been just watching Love and Hip Hop and stuff like that, since most of my other shows are off until like next week or so, because I think The Magician starts next month. I know the last two parts of Crisis on Infinite Earth comes back January 14th, so I will be watching that. Let's see, what other comedians was I watching on Netflix this year? This decade. I watched the new Wanda Sykes special. I love Wanda Sykes specials. I watch those things all the time. When I had cable, that's when a lot of her specials were coming on Showtime, and I would only get Showtime for that. And then, like, after I watched it, maybe a good week or so, maybe watch it so I could tell a joke or two at work. Cut that shit. Let's see. I was watching a lot of watched the Tracy Morgan special. I liked that one. Watched the new Chris Rock special, and I was shocked to say that it was kind of dry for me a little bit there. It's kind of a little dry, but let's see. Oh my goodness, I can't remember his name. The guy who's on the Daily Show. Trevor Noah. His comedy I liked quite a bit. So I watched, was it all his specials I've watched this year alone? Yeah, I watched all his. It's on Netflix. Kumar Bell, I think that's how you say his name. I know the name of the special is Private School Negro. That is like, if you're into like comedians who kind of have like that smart humor, where they're not always like saying crazy shit all the time, but they have that smart humor. He's a very good one. Arsenio Hall special I caught a few months ago. That was pretty good too. And of course the Cedric the Entertainer one. I watched one of the Mike Epps ones, but Mike Epps is one of those people I feel like they just need to stick with a script. Don't go on a stage, because I realized this year, because I've seen like maybe 4 of his specials, and he recycles jokes. So it's like, once you see that and you realize that, and it's like, oh, that's what we're dealing with. It kind of changes it for you. So I haven't really watched that again. I think that's the main things I've been watching on there. I've been catching a couple movies here and there, and then now since I have Amazon Prime, I watch Amazon Prime a lot too. But I mainly watch Amazon Prime for one of the old TV shows I like to watch. That was in the 90s, Forever Night. If you're into vampire stuff, you know that show. That show's awesome. I have the whole first season because it happened to be on sale with Amazon at some point in time, and I just bought the shit. And when I was trying to get the other 2 seasons, 3rd season isn't even available for some fucking reason, and 2nd season you have to buy $2.99 each. They don't sell it as a fucking grouping. That I don't get either. But, and then they had a lot of horror movies and other stuff, and like there was some TV shows I can catch here and there, like Beyond Belief I could catch on there, and it's free. Granted, you'll get commercials, but it's free because I'm a Prime member. I've been taking advantage of Amazon Prime this year quite a bit. Let's see, what else was I watching this year? Some of the biggest movies I watched this year was Endgame, Avengers Endgame. That shit makes me cry. I've watched it maybe 4 or 5 times now, and still the end makes me cry. I'm like, no. I mean, if you haven't watched it, I don't know what's fucking wrong with you. But yeah. Almost got in a fight with someone online the other night because they had the audacity to say it should have ended with Captain America stabbing his fingers, not Iron Man. It's like, bitch, if you don't stop. Get off of Captain America's dick. He's not fucking gonna say your name in a movie or some shit. It ended the way it should have ended, with the person who started the whole goddamn Marvel franchise. But, I can talk nerdy all day long. Kind of think about that as a new show. Like, sit down, talk with other people, and just nerd talk. Like, about games and movies, comic books, things like that. Oh, we can go there. One of the other shows I've been watching recently was Batwoman, because they just came out with it recently, and I actually got introduced to Batwoman during this decade. I read her comic books like maybe 4 years ago, because I wanted to read initially the Death of the Family series from Batman, and I was at the library, and I found a library that had most of them, but I had to order others, and in between those most of them, I saw the Batwoman ones, and I'm like, I want to read this. They're actually pretty good. The storyline is pretty good. The TV show storyline is almost spot on. Almost. Keyword, almost. There's a few things here and there that I'm like, really? But, let's see, what else have I been? I have been reading a lot too, especially in this decade. I've been reading quite a bit, especially since one of my jobs kind of had me required to do some reading. I was a phone actress. Like, I did it once 4 years ago for 2 months, and then I did it last year for 2 months. Apparently 2 months is as far as I can go in that. But it's not even because of talking to guys dirty. It's always some stupid shit that gets me, like, where I'm like, fuck this job, why am I even here? That, and also, it's like way further than where I want to drive every day. I don't want to drive. I have like this certain fear, and I don't like driving over bridges. And if I have to drive over a bridge with water, that's a definite hell no. So, yeah, and to do that every day, it's a real hell no. Especially if I have to get up 2 to 3 hours early to get to work possibly on time. And I only get maybe a 10-minute lunch. Yeah, no. Granted, yes, the phone actress job helped me with my creative standpoint, my adverbs. So a couple of those erotic stories, especially from this year, has been like stories I had to create for my character. Even though, like, one time, the reason why I quit this year was actually because one of the other managers was mad because I was having phone sex, or she thought I was having phone sex on the regular chat lines, because they had us as chat line girls, and then we'd also be phone sex girls. So they call them fantasy girls, but it's stupid. I was kind of like, are you serious? I'm here to have phone sex, and I can't have phone, whatever. But, let's see what else for this decade for me. But yes, I was with reading. I explored my reading quite a bit. Like, now I'm reading stuff on self-help, and Audible is my best friend. If I can't get through a book or can't get to a book quickly, I just wait for my Audible thing to come up for the month, and I just renew and get me a new little book. I went through quite a bit of series because of that. I actually recently rebought one of my favorite poetry books that really got me excited about doing poetry when I was 17, and that is The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac Shakur. I love that book. It's one of my favorites. And then I just found out recently I still have I had one of my Shakespeare books. Shakespeare's another poet influence for me. And my other one is Edgar Allan Poe. So, yeah. And besides like self-help books, stuff like that, I read like romance novels. I'm a girl, so I'm reading romance novels. A lot of eroticas. A lot of eroticas. I mean, hell, they help with my adverbs and things like that. This one series right now, it's kind of weird because normally if I go for series, it has to be an erotica series because apparently sex keeps me hooked on. But this series has no sex in it, and it's like really, it tickles that subject, but it doesn't go there. It doesn't talk about the acts. And it's called the Nocturnal Falls series. I can't remember the name of the author, but if you like vampires and monsters and stuff like that, and you want to hear about a town that it's Halloween all year round, that will be your book series. There are 54 books, and Audible has most of them on the romance package, which that's the only reason why I've been blazing through those books, because I paid extra for the romance package. And I've also been reading this poet named Atticus, because I have 2 of his books. I have 2 of them I have 2 physical copies. I have all 3 as ebooks through Google, and I have 2 as Audible books. So yes, I like his books. Let's see, what else have I been reading? And I've been reading my vampire lexicon book, or whatever it's called. Hold on. It's actually near me somewhere. That I got from the Vampire Ball. If you don't know, I quite appreciate going to the Vampire Balls every year. Especially since they're in my city, so I can really go to one. Even though I want to go to the one in New Orleans during Halloween weekend, because that shit looks fun every time I watch it on Instagram. But it's the Black Veils Vampire Lexicon book. I've been reading it, going through it, because it's about to be that time of year again for me to partake with my nighttime activities with the vampires. And I love going to those balls. I went to the salon, which is kind of like Gothic church, which is pretty awesome because I didn't have to pray or pay someone like 17 times for the building fund. This shit's not getting fixed. Hold on. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to drink something real quick. I didn't realize how long I've been talking. But yeah, let's see. What other... So, one of my favorite movie series that was throughout this whole decade, pretty much, was pretty much the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a few movies here and there I haven't watched 100% because, I didn't think it went with the story, that, and also probably don't care for those characters. Case in point, I didn't watch... Correction. One Captain America movie I technically watched was Civil War. I didn't watch any other ones. Not a big Captain America fan. I know the story, so I knew who Winter Soldier was. I knew who Falcon was, stuff like that, because I'm a comic book nerd. But yes, I did watch all the Iron Mans. I finally got around to watch all the Thors, because the only one I didn't want to watch was Dark World. Ragnarok was my shit. I loved Thor Ragnarok. That was like another take into that, and that kind of helped that scarification from Dark World. Black Panther, of course, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So much man candy on that video, on that movie. All the Avengers movies, of course, I watched those. I haven't watched any of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, I watched maybe some parts of it, but I knew who the characters were. So, like, when it came to the Avengers movies, I wasn't like, who the fuck is this bitch? I knew who they were. I didn't watch Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I knew who he was still. But yeah, there's still some movies I probably have to catch in that. And in music, this decade of music has been an interesting decade. We went from what was I listening to in 2010? Is that terrible to say that? Well, like, what was I listening to? If you know me at all, which that's an instant, like, I still listen to old school music. I still listen to stuff from the 90s, so that's a given. Yes, I'm that crazy person with my music blaring, and I'm twerking to Miami bass music instead of, like, some of the new stuff. Doesn't mean I don't listen to the new stuff. I do. I have quite a bit on my playlist. But I am also very much into my old school music. And I do have I'm an eclectic person too. Because I can go from, hold on. One of the things I hate about living where I live at, fucking fireworks. But it is New Year's Eve. Should have expected this. I should have probably recorded earlier. But yeah, what I was saying with the music this year, the music over the decade, and then the music for this year I'll go over. The music over a decade, my flow was really, I'm gonna say, I didn't have too much new rock music I listened to. With my rock, I'm still into my high school emo days, apparently. So, it's a lot of Evanescence and Linkin Park. With a couple other people here and there. With country, I really got hooked on Rascal Flatts during this decade. And then Carrie Underwood, and I'm trying to think of who else. It's a couple other like songs here and there I really liked. And yes, before anyone says, you listen to country? Yes, I listen to country. I listen to everything. I even listen to musicals. I will be that, once again, I'll be that weird person that has The Greatest Showman playing, and you'll be like, what the fuck? Or I'll be sitting here singing Rent. Yeah, I'm that person. Towards rap, I was very much, beginning of the decade, I was into, I think my biggest rap people was The Weeknd and Drake. They were consistent for me. Every time The Weeknd put something out, like maybe I had to listen to it twice, and I'm there. I already have it on my phone. I already have shit on a playlist. It's on several playlists you don't even know yet. I'm over here quoting that shit. I almost told someone the other day, I never need a bitch. I'm what a bitch needs. Yeah, I'm rocking Heartless pretty hard. And Drake had that whole vibe there for a good minute. I was loving those. Towards the females in rap, at the beginning I was listening to Nicki Minaj. I didn't like all her music. I'm gonna get this out here from here now. I like Nicki Minaj, but also some of her songs I wasn't there for. I liked more of the stuff that was kind of deep. It was some like fun ones I liked. Stupid Hoe I didn't. We're not gonna even, no. My personal favorite Nicki Minaj album from the decade would have to be Pinkprint. I liked Pinkprint. Cardi B, Cardi B came out hard. And Cardi B is probably the first person who I could sit through their whole album, not skip, and re-listen to it. Megan Thee Stallion, that's another person I've recently got really into. But I also like her positivity and stuff like that, and like what she's trying to stand for. She's trying to get, like, you know, girls in rap all like connected and remembering we're all in this together. Why can't we work together and act like adults, pretty much? Because some people can't act like adults. I'm just gonna leave it like that. With R&B was kind of here and there during this decade. I've still stuck with a lot of my old stuff, but I also like discovered, so I could probably put him in here. Charlie Wilson was a lot on my playlist. Chris Brown was killing it. You know, it's like for a good minute I was like not sure if I could listen to him, you know, like the whole shit with Rihanna, speaking of which Rihanna has been Rihanna's definition of glowing up. You went from being a music artist and all this other stuff to now you have brands, you have deals, you're going through it. I love her Savage X Fenty lingerie line. I'm going to actually try Fenty Beauty in the new year. I haven't tried it yet because when they first came out, they came out with the foundations, and I just recently got back into foundation. I didn't wear foundation for 5-6 years during this decade. But if you originally learned how to do makeup from RuPaul's Drag Race and someone on a dating app tells you that you look like a drag queen, kind of make you stop wearing foundation too. I was doing drag queen tricks. Because unfortunately, towards like, which will be the next thing I want to talk about, I want to skip. But yeah, anyways. Rihanna was killing it. I think on my playlists now. And I want to do a playlist for the decade ending. I still might. And if I do, I'll link it at the bottom where I'll let you guys know on my next update podcast. But yeah, Rihanna's been definitely killing it this decade. From between work and Bitch Better Have My Money and Pour It Up, Complicated. I love The Way You Lie Part 2. I actually like that one a little bit better than Part 1. California King Bed, S&M, Disturbia, Unfaithful, like all her stuff, it's a whole vibe. Kendrick Lamar, yes, especially his recent album with Humble and DNA. Oh, every time I hear those shits, I'm over here ready to go. I'm like, no one can tell me shit. Childish Gambino, I liked a lot of his stuff this year. Donald Glover really showed, like, you can do all of this at once. Yeah, I can do stand-up community. Yeah, I was on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on TV. Yeah, I'm in motherfucking movies. And he's got his music and stuff too. And then, actually, one of the things I actually really like that he sung, it's not even his song. It's a video. If you look for it on YouTube, he does a unplugged version. I'll call it unplugged version of To Me As I'm So Into You. And I just love the flow of it. And I love how he sings it. And he doesn't change any of the words. He doesn't make it like he's talking about a girl. He literally takes To Me As version and just sings it. And kills that shit. Trying to think of. I'll probably move into pop now. We'll move into pop now. But yeah, we're gonna move into pop now. Britney Spears. Britney Spears killed it coming back. And I love her music. Sam Smith. That was another person, like, every time they brought out something, I was banging that. I was just loving it. Especially, like, Stay With Me. Good at Goodbyes. Dancing with a Stranger with Normani. Oh, I love that one too. Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga killed this decade. Killed it from being, like, she was the true definition of a evolution in a decade. From being crazy and wild and poker face, and she had Paparazzi and Bad Romance and all these other ones, to like Perfect Illusion and Shallow, and like her coming out with more like her voice and earthy tones, almost like that type of stuff. I loved it. Beyonce. Me and Beyonce had a love-hate thing this decade. That's also because I was kind of like, I think by the time when not Crazy in Love, but Drunk in Love came in, I was kind of like, why do everyone have to be out here like this? I feel like every time Beyonce has some stuff out, it's a bang. You know it's going to be a banger. Full and simple. You don't even got to listen to it. Beyonce brings out, it's going to bang. People love it. I'm not hating on Beyonce. But the Beehive is kind of crazy. And y'all got to calm down. Beehive and Barb's, calm down. Chill. Beyonce's not giving you a check for attacking people. I'm trying to think of what else pop style ever really. Oh, Ariana Grande. I was about to forget about Ariana Grande. Girl. I really liked a lot of her music. There's a couple here and there I was like, but I really liked a lot of her music. I have a lot of hers on my playlist too. The only musical that's new that I watched this decade was The Greatest Showman. And that was, it was okay. It's a couple songs I really like. But with that being said, and I don't want to keep drawing this out, if you have some memories that you have for the decade, the year, anything like that, let me know. You can write it in the comments down below and get the discussion going. What were some of the things that interest you, or things that still stand out through the decade for you as we enter into the new decade and a new year? And I hope you guys have a great year, great decade. And for the people who have like the New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, I don't personally do the resolutions no more. I just set goals for the year and I move in silence for the most part. It's a couple of things you'll find out later in the week because we'll talk about them. But with that being said, I hope you achieve your resolution. I hope you guys actually go beyond that and you have a killer year and a killer decade, and I hope everything comes out just how you want it to be. And with that being said, I hope everyone has a great night. Stay safe out there. Don't drink and drive. Get an Uber, Lyft. There's so many different ways you can get home. Do not drive tonight if you're drinking. And if you plan on drinking and you may not have enough money, or you know you're going to do something stupid, stay home and drink. Be stupid at home and drink. Never mind. Not unless you're a violent drunk, then never mind. Don't drink at all. Love you guys. And till next time, bye.